Today on Drawbli,
we are trading artworks.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Abby.
And we are self-taught artists documenting our journey of learning to draw, which is, of course, better with friends.
So click that subscribe button if you're new around here and share your artwork on Instagram with #Drawbli.
And of course, check out our guidebook, How to Easily Draw Every Day, down below in the description. So Abby, this is my sketch.
Yes, I was so excited to do this. We had talked about this, brainstormed it on a previous episode of Drawbli, the idea of trading sketches.
And by trading sketches, you mean I'm drawing a sketch here, and once, you're not going to continue the sketch, you're going to paint my sketch.
Yes, and in a couple days, you will paint the sketch that I prepared for you, and we will have a video about that. But today we have a video about your sketch and my painting. I love your sketch. Like, this isn't finished obviously at this point in the video, but the sketch you gave me was so good that...
And I'm normally bad at sketching.
This whole month and week, you've come to this mini turning point, I feel like, with your sketches where they have taken on a lot of energy.
A little bit of a dig, a mini turning point. Wow.
Well, changes can be subtle and slow.
I'm kidding.
It's not like suddenly you draw this entirely different way than you used to.
No.
But it's exciting to see these changes, come about throughout Drawbli. This, I think, will be a moment you can look back at and be like, oh yeah, that was the months that I started doing sketches this way, and they looked so different.
Well, to explain the this way thing that I've been playing around with is I treat my sketches like they're paintings.
Oh, tell me about that.
I only sketch on one layer, and I'm not trying to create clean line art. I'm not trying to create clean lines. I'm literally sketching and then erasing my lines to create, thinner line weights in certain areas or thicker in other areas. And I'm trying to play around with that as much as I possibly can.
Nice.
So it's it's almost just like a mental shift, but that mental shift has created a process shift as well.
That's really cool. Well, it's really working for you. This sketch you gave me, so I painted it actually 2 times.
You painted it 2 times?
Yeah, once was just kind of a quick, once over, getting to know it sort of painting, where I just splashed some color on it.
I am not going to paint your sketch twice, just to forewarn you.
Oh, that's okay, because my first time through, it took me only 5 seconds, and that's because your sketch is so good.
You didn't want to mess it up.
It wasn't so much that as it didn't need a lot from me. It felt truly like it already carried a lot of energy and interest, and adding color was just kind of I'll add some color, but the work was done. All the big work of making this sketch wonderful to look at, the flow of her hair, the extra strokes around her hair that kind of give it a lot more energy and life.
Yeah, that's something I really like doing.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. The first time I painted it, it took me no time at all. And granted, I was well, I should spend more time on it and see what I come up with more time. So I did a second time. But no, yeah, it's just a beautiful sketch.
Thank
Very
you.
fun to work on.
It's it really is just a small change in what I'm doing. I mean, we've been painting so much, and I've always felt like lines were this thing that I never understood. Sketching is so weird and hard for me, just because I have, a 3D brain. I think about the planes of the different shapes, but then I don't know when it happened, but I'm just sketching is just... I mean, I've said it before, and I've known it, and I've heard it, sketching is just like painting. Painting is sketching. Painting is drawing, it's all the same. But, it just took time for me to kind of get there mentally.
Isn't that interesting that you can tell a person a thing until you're blue in the face, but for many things it's an experience thing. You have to experience it, and that comes with time and repetition. Also, sometimes it's how something's said. Maybe you'll hear it one way 20 times, and then somebody says something about it a slightly different way, and you're like, oh, well, that just clicks for me. I get it now. I get it. Which is always a really interesting experience. I have that experience sometimes. Let's say if I'm working out and somebody says, oh, well, this move is like this. And I'm just like, what? And then suddenly they come around and you see them do it a different way, or you hear them describe it a different way. And you're like, oh, I get it now. And now I can do it.
Yeah, I feel like I've also just kind of loosened up on what a sketch can be, which is why I'm like, kind of blending stuff here, which kind of feels like it deviates away from sketch and starts heading towards painting. And when I was working on this, because I knew this is the one that I wanted to give you to paint, I was like, well, I don't want to do too much with it. I want to leave some stuff for Abby to play with.
You left nothing. Look, this is my first pass, and I'm just playing with it. I'm just having fun. I'm splashing colors on, and I know I can't mess this up.
Were you looking? I know I can't mess it up. Were you looking at like some reference for colors, or did you just play around with some different ideas for colors?
I just played around with different ideas. I knew that I like kind of violet shadows sometimes. I knew I wanted really deeply saturated, like orange skin. Just for vibrancy, and I knew I wanted fun hair. But again, like, look, it's already practically done. Like, there was.
I mean, you've done some flat colors. You can paint
I've added
more.
some. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, there is more I can do, but the values are mostly there because you're shading. You added a lot of the value adjustments already, so my values already naturally shift in my hues. And I try. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I can darken her hair under here. Let's play with some highlights. And this was kind of a late evening sketch, just winding down before bed anyway. But look, I'm actually like, this is cute. It's quite passable. It's no time at all that I spent on this pass, and I am fully aware of that. But look, it has color, and
it has color.
And it stands alone already. Your sketch is just that good.
Well, thank you. You're very kind of you. When I handed this to you and you said that you were starting to work on it, you mentioned something about like, it looks like she's glowing or something like that. Mm-hmm. You wanted to like make her glow. What about it made you feel like she was glowing?
I think it's her hair and just something about the energy of how you've painted her hair. Gives me this,
because it was definitely not my intention to make her glow at any point or have like a glowing backlight.
I think it's the way you shaded her hair. To me, is kind of like it gives like this kind of luminescent feel, even though we can't see any glowing, of course, in the sketch. So this is me saying, okay, it's a great sketch. Maybe painting on it longer is a better thing to do. So I spend longer time painting. I give it a canvas background because I am really right now on a canvas background kick. I think it adds a lot of interest, although then I paint over the canvas background and you can't really see it in the sketch.
Well, you can set your paint layer to overlay. Overlay or multiply? Overlay? I can't remember. But that makes the texture come through on your paint.
Yeah, I don't think I like to paint with overlay because it's really hard to build up color.
Right, but you can just set it at the end and then all that texture will kind of come through.
Oh, I guess
I'll show you on my painting.
Wouldn't setting it to overlay even at the end though drop a lot of my saturation and color?
I'll show you on my painting.
Okay.
You'll see how it works.
Painted longer on this one. Played with the hair some more. I didn't have a reference for her hair, so I wasn't really feeling sure where to put shadow or light or texture. Mm-hmm. So I ended up simplifying it quite a bit more and leaving it at that. And also, of course, she's a lot more orange in this one, which I liked. I've been doing a lot more with very saturated skin tones lately, and I like that process.
I really love the process of experimenting with color when you have like a pretty decent sketch down. Mm-hmm. I think that's super fun. So it's cool to see that you did 2 of these. But one thing I wanted to ask you was, did you ever do overpainting on top of the sketch, or were you always below the sketch layer? I
did do a clipping mask onto the sketch layer to change the color of the lines.
Okay.
But again, I've always been really big on sketches and liking them, and I don't really like to paint over them if there's one that I really like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's like always part of my process.
It's definitely not part of mine. I think the sketch is where the energy originally flows from, and I hate to cover that up. Usually if I've covered it up in the past, I've kind of deleted a lot of the energy of whatever I've created. So I don't do that very often.
I like it. Cool.
But maybe I could try it in the future, see how it goes. I did give her kind of like, I put those symbols on her head. I tried to make those luminescent, which was kind of fun.
I love luminescent. I love glowing. I know that your glow brush is your favorite brush of all time.
Yeah, for all that I haven't used it in quite some time.
You need to get back into the glow brush because I haven't seen it in a while.
I know. Maybe I need to do like a Tokyo cityscape scene and like bring the glow in a little bit more.
It's really fun to watch this just to like see the direction that you would take it, especially seeing it twice. Because neither one of these is like the direction that I would have gone. So
yeah.
I think it's cool. It's really fun to see.
It was really interesting too, working, without reference at all on this, because like I didn't have any idea of what her original colors or the light hitting her face was not necessarily doing, besides like the shading that you did with your sketch. But you did a really good job with it. So
I like the leaves flowing around her. Very
Thanks.
Cool.
I redid them an truly unnecessary number of times.
No, it's cool looking, and I like the gradient that you put on the hair. I like that a lot too.
Thank you. I ended up really liking that it was the same-ish color as the background, just slightly in the end darker. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah.
As opposed to a contrasting color.
Yeah, I think lost edges is something we've talked about a lot and something we want to play around with more, but it's always, pretty difficult to actually do in practice. Edges, painting edges, not an easy thing.
No, not at all. But it is a big part of, I feel like, nicely articulated paintings. So yeah, there is your painting number 1. What do you think?
What do I think? I told you the whole time, I love it. It's awesome. It's super cool. I love the colors. Between this one and the other one, do I get a side-by-side view of them?
I think so. I think that's how I arranged this, if we wait.
There's the other one. Yeah, I really like the eyes that you did on this. I think that's a really fun color that you did on that.
Thanks.
Also, the earrings were meant to be like hoops, but you turned them into spherical shapes, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, it's a flat thing. You can't really tell. So it's just cool to see like how you interpret my drawing. And like I had something in mind for one area and you're like, oh, this is what he meant. So like it's just cool to see that.
Yeah, I like that too. Like, because we didn't talk about it at all in the beginning. I didn't say,
was the whole
what
point.
do you mean for this part? Yeah. I can't wait to see what you do with my sketch. I hope that it was a fun sketch to work on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And if you want to see that sketch and painting process, click that like and subscribe button. And of course, check out our guidebook, How to Easily Draw Every Day, down below in the description.
And share your work on Instagram with #Drawbli, because drawing is better with friends.
And this is the part where we say
Goodbye.
Goomba. Yeah, these were both really cool. It's actually really tough for me to decide which one I like more, but I think I like the first one more. Or I'm sorry, the second one.
The second one, yeah.
The second one,
Yeah.
I feel like you put a lot more work into, and I really like the hair and the leaves flowing around the character. It's all really cool.
Yeah, it was so fun to work on. Thanks for the sketch.